So take a comfortable seat, please. And begin to just notice a slow, easy, gentle breath. No real hard effort to breathe, just soft, easy, gentle breathing in and out of your nose. Life coming in. And what is complete, what you're finished with, is moving its way out of you. This miraculous process that happens all the time with our simple breath. As you're taking these simple, natural breaths, root down, feel your seat, your sitting bones, the weight of your body on the cushion or floor. With the body settled here and the focus on sweet, gentle breaths, I invite you for a moment to pay attention to the inner dialogue. Just take a moment and listen to that thinking voice in your head. Without any judgment, just notice this voice. This voice is oriented toward past and future. It likes to ruminate on what happened back there or what might happen up ahead. And it especially likes to run a commentary about you. You can call it your inner critic and also your inner parent, or if that word doesn't work for you, your inner best friend. Take deeper breaths and let's set an intention together to use this practice as a time to notice this voice. And when we notice that it's pulling us toward any negative self-talk, let's get in the practice of shifting to something more positive, more loving, and more helpful. Let's bring our hands together in front of our heart and press your hands together with a little bit of firmness. And then inhale to fly your arms open, reach back as far as you can. Take a deep breath into the front of your body. Exhale, bring your hands back in front of your heart. This time round forward a bit, tuck your chin, round your shoulders. So moving like this with breath, opening and closing. Feeling the muscles of your torso that create these two actions. You might be noticing some tight muscles in the back of the body, the shoulders, the neck. Let's let these breaths just start to soothe those tight places. Inhale, open your arms wide, turn your palms up and sweep the arms high. Lift nice and tall. On the exhale, drop your left hand to the floor, reach your right arm up and over. Take a few breaths here into the side of your body that's stretching. Breath in, breath out into that expanded side. And then back to center, release the arm over, reach, press your hips down, and then breathe into the stretching side. Relax your jaw, soften your face, and just breathe into your body. Come back to center, bring your hands once again in front of your heart, and then just start to rotate easy little twists from side to side. like a really slow washing machine, just rotating right and left. Just feeling those muscles up and down the spine and around your belly. We'll twist to the right side, go as far as you can, and then sit your hands down. Turn to look over your back shoulder. Floating back to center, rotate left and right. So one of the practices we do in our teacher training is we ask people to keep a little score sheet of thinking. Let's go ahead and move to the left side, hold your twist. So imagine having a piece of paper in front of you, and on one side is negative, one side is positive. The bottom of the paper is just a box for neutral thoughts. During this practice, I invite you to just notice when a negative thought pops up, when a positive thought replaces it or pops up, and then just notice some of the neutral thoughts. Come back to center, sweep your arms all the way up, interlace your fingers, palms press up. Reach as tall as you can. Breathe into both sides of your body now, and then turn your hands together, point your fingers up like you would be in a full version of Warrior 3. Take a gentle lean backwards, shoulders super strong behind you, chest open. Breathe into the front of your body, in and out. And then release your hands down. Remove anything you're sitting on and switch out for a yoga strap. We're going to come down onto our backs for a moment. We're going to do a little hamstring flexibility exercise. So take a moment to get comfortable and situated on your back, arms just rest. We're going to lower the left leg to the floor and take the right leg up into a hamstring stretch without the use of your hands. So just bring your leg to where it naturally stops. Pull your toes down. You can have a bent knee, but try to make it as straight as you can. And this is your active hamstring flexibility. This is your natural hamstring flexibility. And yeah, you could pull the leg in farther, but we call that passive flexibility. It's using leverage. So just notice your active length. And then extend your left arm out to the side and let your right leg lower as far as it will without lifting your shoulders off the floor. So here is your active inner leg, inner thigh adductor flexibility. And then come back to center. You can shift to your right a little bit, lower that leg across. It's not going to touch the floor. Your shoulders are going to stay down, but just look at your natural flexibility in a straight-legged twist. This should feel like a little bit of work, but not a lot of straining. And then come back to center. Even yourself out, lower that right leg to the ground and just shake it out a few times. All right, second side, let's just see. Left leg comes up, toes come down. See if you notice a difference in the sides. And if you have come to a point of shaking or a real strain, just ease off a little bit. Find your natural edge. Your face and your shoulders are relaxed. Arms open up. Let's take that leg out to the left side. Find the stopping point. That's where the hip is going to lift off the floor. effort to hold here, but not strain. And then we'll come back through center. Shift your whole body a little bit to the left and then cross that leg over. Natural, active range of motion. All right, come back to center, even yourself out, both legs on the floor, shake them out a little bit. And then let's hug the knees into our chest. Bend your knees, move around on your back until you get a nice, tight little squeeze here. Exhale all this breath out. Take your fingers to the front of your thighs. Inhale, push your knees away. Exhale, pull your knees back in. Inhale, push your knees away. Exhale, pull your knees in. Inhale, press. Exhale, pull. Hold here, shake, wiggle out your feet, your ankles, and your toes. We're going to let our knees come just a little bit wider. Bring your arms to the inside of your knees, and you can either grab your big toes or the outside of your feet. This is going to be kind of like happy baby, except we'll keep our feet close together. I want you to just pull a little bit here. Feel the pressure in your hips on the floor. And then we're going to start to just lengthen one leg and then the other. And you can do this at your own pace, but move slowly. Move to notice a hamstring lengthening. And now you are assisting a bit with leverage. So you can probably get that leg a little closer to the torso. Avoiding any strain. Just noticing. And then extend both legs. They'll come up to a little bit of a V. The knees can be bent or straight. Breathe into the back of your legs. Just imagine your body being like a helium balloon, and on the inhale, all of the places just get a little more full. On the exhale, there's a little bit of deflating. And then we inhale and fill up the spaces. Exhale. And deflate. Release your hands, lower the feet to the earth. Pressing down into the earth with your feet. Inhale to lift your back. Come to the opposite way, opposite direction. A little back bend. Interlace your hands underneath you and open up the chest. So now you're feeling your glutes and your hamstrings engage. You're feeling the strength in the back of your legs, the strength in your upper back that allows for opening in the front. And then release your hips to the earth. Draw the knees in one more time. Move around. Just get into any of the spots on the lower back that show up. And then we'll hold the backs of the knees and we'll rock and roll back up to a seat. And we're going to extend our right leg and keep our left knee bent. The first place we'll call for a strap. So take the strap and just loop it right around the end or the ball of your right foot. And give yourself enough slack that you can be upright. Arms not straining, back tall. We're going to take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, we're just moving forward from the hip. Inhale back to tall. Exhale forward from the hip. So just like a helium balloon, filling up and deflating. As you continue this movement, you might walk your hands a little closer to your foot. You might find that your range of motion increases a bit. Float with your breath, not forcing, not straining, just inviting length in the hamstrings. And with this next breath, go ahead and hold a gentle stretch here. Notice what comes up, what sensations you feel. If you were observing the dialogue in your head, which column would you put these comments in? Even subtle things like, oh, my hamstrings are so tight. Which column would you put that in? Like a judgment or a label. Go ahead and come back to center. Just let the strap rest where it is. Get as tall as you can. Angle your body straight forward. And we're just going to melt ourselves over this bent lower leg. So if this is hard for your back, you could place a block here underneath your head. We're just going to melt ourselves forward here, allowing for some breath into the back of the body. So feel that balloon-like sensation in your shoulder blades, back of your ribs, inflating and deflating. And moving back to an upright position. Bring your arms out in front of you. And then sweep your left arm behind as far as you can. Set it down on the floor. Reach up to rest on this left knee. Arm comes up and back. Just breathe here across the front of your hip flexor, your spine, your belly. And release that back down. Awesome. Extend the left and bend the right. Recruit your strap around the bottom of your foot. Just get yourself situated here. Begin to take a deep breath in with that tall spine. Exhale, move from your hips so the spine stays pretty straight. Inhale to lift. Exhale to move forward. As you move with your breath, maybe your hands get a little closer to your foot. Notice your range of motion. Notice the natural edge, stopping point. And then let's come forward and hold. A little bit of assistance from your hands and the band. Breathe into the back of your leg. Let your hamstring feel like a balloon. Release, let the band rest there. Rotate your torso forward. Take a deep breath in and then just melt yourself over the front of your ankle or shin. You can use something under your head if that helps you. And now the back of the body becomes the balloon. Inflate and deflate. So the work of the yogi is to be the observer of this chatter, this mind conversation. And you might notice how trivial sometimes the chatter is. It's a to-do list. It's a don't forget that thing at the store today kind of list. And they're neutral, right? They're not harmful thoughts. They're just busy thoughts. Come back up. Reach your arms forward. Sweep the right arm behind you, and the left arm helps you come up onto that knee. Stretch up and back. It's like a full body yawn right here. Just reach and breathe and expand and extend. And come back down. All right, nice job, everybody. Bring your knees together, move the strap aside for a bit. We're gonna come around to a tabletop position. So spreading the fingers wide and reaching out through the crown of the head, reach your left foot back, your left toes on the floor, and then lift and lower that leg. So just finding some strength in the back, in the glutes of that left leg. We're going to work on this a lot on Wednesday, this hip stability and glute strength, another component for Warrior 3. The next time that leg comes up, cross it over. You can press into the toes and kind of lean backwards for a little calf stretch, or you can drop that foot sideways, swivel your hips left, and you're going to get a nice stretch here around the left waist and the left hip. Take a few breaths. And then return to center, find neutral. Reach your right leg back, toes to the floor. Keep yourself stable on these 3 legs of the table, and then just lift and lower the 4th. Use your right glutes. You're also using your hamstring to help lift your leg. Hamstrings have 2 jobs. They bend knees and they extend hips backwards. All right, take that leg across, either tuck your toes, find a calf stretch, or go to the side of your foot, swivel your hips to the right, and find that side body stretch. So when it comes to this monkey mind, it's okay when we notice all of the trivial neutral thoughts. But we really need to pay attention to the negative self-talk that shows up in between the neutral thoughts, because we believe those words. Come back to center, exhale back to child's pose. So that's what we're observing here today, is just noticing when that inner critic shows up. And learning to lovingly acknowledge and then replace. Let's make our way up into a downward facing dog. And we've gotten those hamstrings a little bit prepared for this, so you might feel that it's a little more fluid this first time. Just pedal your heels, drop those heels down, shift hips up high. Really find your way into the back of your legs. And then take a slow walk forward, come into Uttanasana, or forward fold. Everybody bend your knees a bunch and then straighten. And bend and straighten. And with the knees bent, let's press hands to shins, find a nice flat back, and then sweep the arms all the way up. Come to extended mountain pose. So right now your hamstrings are in their active range of motion, their active flexibility. Bring your arms down to your sides. All right, we're gonna step a little bit wider and maybe turn your toes out. I'd like to do a flow that includes a squat. So go ahead and test the waters and see, is this your squat today, kind of a halfway down, or are your knees happy with a full squat? Okay, so we're gonna inhale the arms up. Good, and then we're gonna exhale down to find your squat. Stay here to inhale, lengthen through the spine. Fingertips on the floor, exhale, fold forward, the toes stay pointed out. Inhale back to your squat. Exhale here. We're just gonna go again. Inhale, reach. Good, exhale, squat. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale back to squat. Exhale, stay. Let's go one more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, squat. Inhale, lift through the crown of your head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale back to your squat. Exhale, stay. Good, reach up high. And bring your hands to your heart, step your feet back in line with your hips. I'm gonna march out a little bit. All right, beautiful. Before we get deeper into these hammies, let's flow through a couple of front and back motion, sun salutations with a little variation. So on the inhale, the arms reach. On the exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right foot steps back, the knee drops to the ground. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, shift forward, kneeling plank. Exhale, lower to the ground. Inhale, cobra. And come back again into child's pose. Inhale, the right foot comes forward, kneeling lunge. Exhale, tuck the back toes, step to forward fold. Soft knees, inhale, arms reach. And bring your hands to your heart. Great, one more time, reach high. Bow low. Inhale, left foot back, drop the knee. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, kneeling plank. Spin your elbows forward and down. Exhale. Roll your shoulders, cobra, inhale. Child's pose. Exhale. Inhale, come forward with your left foot. Tuck the back toes, lift the knee. Exhale, forward fold. With soft knees, rise up high. And bring your hands to your heart. All right, awesome, everybody. So we're gonna do another little hamstring flexibility test from standing. So I'd like you to put all of your weight in your left foot. You're gonna reach your right toes back. This might be familiar, we did this last week. I want you to bring your arms behind you and wrap your right fingers around your left wrist. Right fingers make a bracelet around the left wrist, and then just settle those hands there near your sacrum or your low back. So that's gonna open up your chest. Thinking about this left leg hamstring, I'd like you to reach your chin and your chest forward. So you're moving from the hips, and those back toes are staying on the floor. I'd like you to go to where you feel your natural stop for the left hamstring. Should feel like a lot of work really having to root down and stabilize through this leg while you're asking that muscle to lengthen. The easy thing to do is just pop that back leg up. But since we're not allowing that, we really have to learn how to have length and strength in our standing leg. It's a huge component of balancing poses. Go ahead and come back up, press into the earth, feel that hip extending, and then find your ground. Switch sides. So now left fingers make a bracelet around the right wrist, nuzzle those hands into your low back, left toes back. Lift and lengthen. And now just begin that crease at your right hip. You can bend your knee a little. The chin and chest reach forward. And I'd like you to come to your natural stopping point, the place where the right hamstring says, that's it. And breathe here, root down through that right foot. Feel length and strength in your right hamstring. We call that eccentric strength, when a muscle is stretched but also working. Come back to center. Let the hips shift forward, press both feet into the ground. Whew, that's some effort, isn't it? Bring your hands to center. Inhale, open your chest, come into a little back bend, and as you do, your hips press forward. Let your hip points reach forward. Chin slightly lifts, heart opens. Notice if there's any diving into the low back and see if you can soften around that. And then keeping your back bend, arms reach high. Interlace your fingers, those Charlie's Angels hands. Lift high and let your arms reach back. All right, same thing here. You're going to step on your left foot and reach your right toes back. Now this time, we're not going to go as far because there will be some strain in the low back, but we're just going to go a few inches, hinging from the hips. Root down into that left foot and feel your stopping point. Stopping point is where there's any sharp pain or where breath ceases to be natural. Come back to center. Release your hands, shake it out a bit. This is supposed to be Gentle Monday, isn't it? Reach the arms high. As you interlace, switch. Cross your thumbs the upward way. Press into your right foot, left toes back. Make that nice little back bend in your upper chest. And then hinge from the hips. You might only go a few inches. We're noticing stable right foot, right leg, a hinge at the hip, strong back. Warrior 3 is a lot of work. We can all thank Gigi for the suggestion. All right, come up. And here's what we've all wanted to do for a while. Exhale down into a forward fold. And let yourself exhale loud here. You probably were holding your breath, at least I was. Shake out your neck, soften your knees. Heel toe the feet a little bit wider. Let's reach around, take a hold of the back of the heels, and gently pull ourselves down. Breathe in, breathe out. Feeling the back of the body with the breath. And release the hands, press to a flat back. Sweep the arms all the way up, come into a little back bend, the opposite direction. Cactus the arms once again. Good, and then hands in front of the heart. Beautiful, everybody. Take your right foot forward now. We're moving into pyramid pose. So this is a place you might want to bring a block in. We're going to step our feet closer to the outer edges of our mat. So in other words, try not to be on a tightrope like this. Step one foot out a little wider, okay? And the back toes can be slightly turned out. Find your hip points, the hip crease. Once again, let's lengthen through the crown. So you're gonna reach behind you, make a bracelet around your left wrist. So right hand grabs left wrist, nuzzle your hands there at your sacrum. And as you exhale, hinge from the hips and fold forward. Come halfway down. That should feel familiar, but a little more stable. Keep breathing nice and deep. And then let one or both of your hands come to your block or the floor and slowly fold over this right leg. Forehead to the shin. Your knee can soften. Imagine the back of your leg being like a helium balloon. Maybe even use your fingers up and down the hamstring, a little gentle massage, because our muscles respond to touch. Find the back of the knee and those tendons that cross behind the knee. Give them a little massage. And then with your hands on your block or the floor, come back to your flat back. Right foot is still firm on the mat. Now we're going to lift and lengthen through the left leg. So here you are in a version of Warrior 3. Feel the firm foundation. Feel the strength of your right leg, and especially the right hamstring. Long, but also strong. If you'd like to move on from here, bring one hand or both to your shin. Feel that again, length and strength in the right hamstring. And then let's release. The left foot meets the right. Come down into a forward fold, and you're going to feel like two different people on the right and the left. Moving in two different bodies. Lift halfway and rise up to stand. Ooh, hammy baby. Left foot stays forward, right foot steps back. Let's take pyramid on the second side. So fingertips at the hip points. Lift and lengthen through the spine. And then as you hinge, feel that hamstring lengthening. Come forward to a flat back, reach back, wrap your left hand around your right wrist. Create a little pressure there at your low back. And pull your chest forward. Feeling stability through the left foot, left leg, and length in the left hamstring. And slowly lower your hands to the block or the floor and fold over your left leg. Forehead toward the shin. Deep breaths. Now noticing the way your left leg feels all the way from foot through ankle, all the way up to the hip. I want you to keep this leg feeling the way it is. Give yourself that little massage too. Almost forgot that. The best part. So as you really memorize this left leg, we're going to lift back to a flat back. The left leg doesn't change at all as we begin to come into balance. Picking up the right leg. So we still have all that length and strength going on in the bottom leg. You can keep your hands down or consider maybe one or both hands on the shin. Challenging balance. Whenever you're working with balance, keep your eyes on one point. Drishti. Let's release that top leg down, soften the knees, rise up, deep breath in, and bring your hands to your heart. All right, so we're gonna put it all together. Let's stand on right foot. We'll reach our left toes behind us. Hands are gonna be at heart center this time. We're gonna lift through the chest and hinge forward from the hips the way we did earlier. So find first strength and stability. You can stay here. If you'd like to work your warrior 3 today, start to lift that back leg. You can lift it an inch or two, or you can lift it higher. If you'd like, you can start to work towards that flat back, lifting with the glutes, chest presses forward. Maybe there's a different place you'd like your arms to be today. Observe the monkey mind right now. Observe the chatter. Is there a critic? Is there a judge? Observe the inner dialogue when we're trying something challenging or unfamiliar, or that we're not really good at. Come back to center. Close your eyes, pause in the middle. So we want to try to not be a judge to the judge. We want to try not to be critical of the critic. It just creates more negativity. What if we could lovingly listen to this inner critic and invite it to move on, replacing it with something more helpful and loving? Let's try that on the other side. Left foot is firm, right toes back, hands at heart, hinging from the hips. Just listening to this inner dialogue and see about using language like, I'm doing my best, I'm learning something new, I'm building stability in my body, I'm working towards a new place. I'm really proud of myself for trying this or showing up, or starting over. Let's release. Come to Tadasana. Take a deep breath in, arms reach high, and exhale, swan dive. Forward fold. Linger a moment in some longer hamstrings. And then set both of your knees down on the earth. Maybe a little cat and cow. And then we're going to roll onto our back again. Have your strap. And we'll do the 3 stretches we started with, but this time with passive flexibility. So left leg flat on the floor, right leg up. Grab the foot with the strap, and then find your passive flexibility. The place where you can pull your leg to without strain, without pain. The back of your leg is just a helium balloon, inflating and deflating. Grab the strap in your right hand, extend your left arm, and then lower that leg outward, finding the space for the inner thigh. And easing back to center. You're going to switch your hands and maybe shift your whole body to the right a bit as that leg comes across. Let your shoulders stay on the earth. You might turn your head to look right. Which part of your body do you notice inflating with breath and deflating? With a soft knee, come back to center. Slide your foot out of the band. Center your body. Shake out your legs a bit to switch. Hook the left foot and come into your assisted or passive flexibility. You start shaking or straining, you've crossed over the edge, come back just to the point where you feel an intense or satisfying stretch. And then opening the leg out to the left, use your right arm to counter the balance. Where do you feel breath? Easing back to center, we'll switch, shift your body left, and draw the leg across into a twist. Take one more in and out breath. And on your exhale, soften the knee, come back to center. Slide your foot out and just make your way onto your back. We're just going to come into a minute of Shavasana. Just let gravity take you to the earth. Let your bones, your muscles, your tissues just soften here. Allow yourself to absorb the benefits of this practice as your body just breathes like a balloon, inflating and deflating. If you are planning to stay for the meditation and you prefer to lie on your back a little longer, please do so. If you need to leave, we'll begin to wiggle fingers and toes and we'll start to stretch the body. You'll roll to one side, and if you prefer to participate in the meditation in a seated place, go ahead and come up. Just moving slowly, doing your best to stay calm and centered.
As we find easefulness in our body, which is so much easier after that lovely, lovely session, feel free to remain on your back or sitting up. I invite you to make this truly your practice. Today we are going to do a breath of compassion in keeping with the theme of self-love and self-care and being our own best friend. Haven't you had that? Don't you have that friend where they call you up and you know? Oh, thank you, Denise. They call you up and you just pick up, right? And you listen. You listen to what they're going through. And you're just patiently listening. So be that way with yourself today. Through your breath, through your heartbeat, through your own rhythm. And just listen to the hum of your breath. Patiently, non-judgmentally. The intention of this meditation is to make friends with the breath. Let your relationship with your breath be a metaphor for your relationship with yourself. To receive it, observe it, without judgment, without labeling, and just simply arrive. Breathing can be an exquisitely tender experience and can help to soothe the body, the mind, and the spirit. It's marvelously simple and deeply regenerative. The skill is to flow with the breath, flow with the currents of life, to flow with ourselves, and to let it all be. Take these first few moments to settle in, to feel the position that you would like to be in for meditation. Feel free to reposition. Wrap yourself up in blankets. Make yourself a nest of cushions, just any way you can really, really receive the gifts of your practice, the gifts of your self-love and self-care and compassion. And if you want, you can close your eyes. You can find a totem to gaze upon. Enjoy the pleasure of not needing to move at all. Enjoy the pleasure of not needing to do anything. Let this meditation be a space where you can just be, with no demands on yourself whatsoever. This time is just for you. This time is to just be you. Become aware of your breath, just as it is. Feel this movement of life that we call breathing. Notice the texture of your breath. Feel the tenderness rushing through your nose and throat, the gentle expansion inside you. How soft can it be? You may notice how the breath can flow easily without any will or effort on your part. Feel that natural rhythm. Enjoy this feeling of effortlessness. Know that this breath is a dance between you and the world. The air around you is welcomed into your body. It nourishes your body and flows back out to the world again. Allow yourself to savor this dance for a few moments. For the next few breaths, continue to enjoy your practice in your own natural way. It can change on its own, getting faster or slower, deeper or more shallow. The breath may even pause for a few moments after an inhale or exhale. Trust there's nothing to make happen whatsoever. No need to change yourself. No need to change your breath's rhythm in any way. Allow yourself to simply be with that tender touch, tender accepting touch of the breath. Let that soft, tender touch heal any place where you have been hard on yourself, or any place that is calling for loving attention. Surrender to that tenderness. Intentionally surrender to this tenderness. Surrender to receiving the inhalation. Surrender to the gentle flow of your exhalation. Allow the tender touch of this flow to dissolve any judgment, any pain. Let that soft, tender touch heal any place where you have been harsh on yourself, where you have been judgmental. Let that soft, tender touch reach any place that is calling for loving attention within you. Know the abiding movement of breath as the spirit of acceptance within you. Feel free to express any gesture of receiving this blessing. Turning your palms up towards the ceiling, reaching your arms in front of you. Receive the blessing of your practice of self-love, self-care, compassion. Breathe with compassion for yourself. If any movement or a dance calls out to you, I welcome you to just allow it. Any gesture of receiving. Express in your own unique way this movement of your breath of compassion for yourself. It could be a loving embrace. It could be a word or phrase of self-acceptance, of honoring and acknowledging your presence, the gifts that only you can bring to this world, the people you love. Notice the feelings in your body, in your mind, your breath right now. Let yourself feel the blessing of this breath of compassion practice. You may like to take a few moments and remember the experience you had. Sensations, thoughts, emotions, fullness, spaciousness, softness, tenderness. Know that you can reconnect with this mode of being whenever you want to or need to. Imagine yourself moving through your day, your week, finding moments to pause and savor the pulsation of your breath. Slowly transition by wiggling your fingers and your toes, circling out your wrists. If you have been sitting cross-legged, stretch out your legs. Give your legs a nice loving pat up and down. Self-massage. Feel free to massage your arms, your shoulders, your torso, your lower back, your shoulders, your neck. All throughout your jaw, your face, giving yourself a nice loving self-massage through your scalp, all the way to the crown of your head. Inhale, circling your arms up towards the ceiling, palms meet overhead. And your exhale brings your thumbs to your heart center, a gesture of honor, honoring yourself and closing out your practice. Say something kind to yourself, say something loving. Be proud of the work you're putting into living your best life towards your best self. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide you all in meditation today. May you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you and namaste.